Hey, it's Jose Galison. This is No Way Jose. You can find me on the No Way Jose YouTube channel. You can also find me on all the major podcatchers. Today I'm doing a live stream. This is one of my. It's actually I think my first live stream. I'm just testing it out. Today I'm going to be covering a lot of channel updates because I just hit the monetization threshold. So I'm going to be switching up format a little bit here. So I just want to let you guys know what's going on with that. We want to expand on something on Twitter. So this is just kind of like I don't know that's kind of what I figured I'd add to the live stream because I kind of want to test it out anyways. I've never done a live stream, so I figured this would be a good thing to work out. Questions too. So if anybody has questions in it, I'll touch on those as well. As always, I like money. Give me money. Patreon.com just No Way Jose 2020. TopLobsta is the fucking man. So go check out his shit. I actually have the No Way Jose shirt on right now. Let's see if I feels a little weird wearing my face, but whatever. You gotta represent. I don't wear this out in public. That would be way too weird. But you guys should. It's just weird for me to have my face on my shirt. Like I said, let's get into channel updates. So I just got monetized. Not monetized. I hit the threshold, so I'm waiting for them to get their shit back to me. So I will probably start doing more live streams because, as I said, I like money. I have no shame in saying that. I'm a capitalist through and through. So I mean, that gives me a chance for fucking super chats and shit. So with that, in going forward in the future. And if live streams, super chats, I will definitely make sure to read. I mean, I don't expect to. This is the size of my channel. I have a ton of super chats, so Oh, hey, what's up? Thanks for the congrats. By the way, this will probably get released as an episode later. So I will try to read these out for those listening. But anyways, I also for my Patreon. So I want to be sure that you guys know that those who are our patrons that you're not getting gypped. What I plan on doing going forward, unless it's something. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I just got it cut today. Libertarian podcast review said my hair is looking nice. You guys should all go check out him. He does good work. His subscribers are not at all reflecting his quality right now. You guys need to fucking fix that. It will be going on his show soon. Me and the other fucking Tower Gang guys. I have already been on the show. He still hasn't reviewed my show, but although I don't know if I'd want it, it's a little scathing. I'm not that professional. Which to go on a little side note, I'm probably going to try to work on an intro here soon. So if you guys want to give me ideas for that, that's great. Anyways, for my patrons, I want to let you guys know so you aren't getting gypped. Unless it's some sort of like topical current event, what'll probably happen is I'll probably do a live stream, and I'm pretty sure I'm able to after the live stream is done is then put it in like private mode or some shit so that the only way you get to see it is if it's like live, if you catch it live, and then at that you got to wait for it to be released publicly. That's going to be a plan. Maybe I don't know. I'm kind of an idiot with tech, so maybe I'm overlooking something here. So I'll be moved so you guys still get an incentive. You guys get that. You don't have to be the live stream you want. I also want to try to figure out something, whether I give you guys some sort of code ahead of time so you guys don't have to super chat. And obviously, if you guys want to, I mean, go for it. Tier intro. I was thinking about doing that, Rogue. Rogue said, Rogue, me and him go way back. He he got me the hookup with the guys from Tier to use a certain song way back when. He got the approval. The only thing I'm concerned about is that might have some sort of copyright issues, which if not, sure, that's great. I don't care, but I don't really know how to get around that. I mean, he said it's okay, but I mean, the way YouTube works, it seems like this flag shit. So me trying to be like, well, the dude said, hey, what's up, Reed? But I don't think that's gonna fly if I'm just I'm not gonna. It's not like there's some dude I can go hit up at YouTube and be like, no, he said it's okay. So I don't know. We'll figure it out. I don't know if that's gonna be like a copyright issue. I have no idea. I recently kind of got in contact with a tech guy. He might know more about that type of shit. What's up, Quest? Only stopped by briefly because I got an early start to get on the road tomorrow morning. Sharing to my followers on Twitter. Thanks, man. I appreciate everything from you guys. Which, by the way, with me being monetized, I do want to take a second to thank you all. Really, especially like Dave. I mean, I know he's probably not watching, probably won't watch. Although it's kind of weird. When I've talked to him before, like on my show, he made some references to shit I said. He's watched multiple episodes, which kind of is weird. Like, what the fuck? I mean, I don't think he's like a loyal listener, but it's weird. He's listened to more than a couple. I'm like, oh, okay. A little bit weird when somebody like Dave is watching my stuff, but it is what it is. I know we here to make you feel awkward about being on solo. Yeah, I hate solo shit. I'm much better at riffing off of someone. I feel like right now I'm just talking to a screen because I am. When I have someone on the other side, it's like way more natural. But it is. Let me know if you want help or input on an intro. Libertarian podcast review. Yeah, no, I guess I appreciate. I don't know. I don't even know where to start really. I mean, ideally, I just want someone to just be like, here you go. We'll figure out though. I thought you had super chats now, bro. No, I'm waiting on them to approve it. Although, I mean, I don't know. You guys look. If there's an option, maybe I'm wrong. I don't know if it's like once I hit the spot, I'm there. I'm mostly like partially doing this kind of like a trial run so I can work on the live stream, see how it works. I mean, I don't know. I know the Tower Gang guys, it seemed like within a week or two their shit got through. So we'll see. Yeah, for my patrons, I'm going to try to give you guys some sort of like code or something so you guys can do. You don't have to do super chats and I will like, answer your questions or whatever. I mean, obviously for my patrons, you guys can always hit me up on the on Patreon and or even in person. And if you guys have any input, I mean, you guys fucking basically own me. So, you guys get to have some input. That's how that works. So I do want to touch on real quick. I kind of want to give you guys a little more updates on what's to come. Try bringing randoms in off Twitter. I have before, Rogue. You know this. I had Rothbird on. I feel like I've had other ones. I mean, shit, Rothbirdian was my fucking episode right before Dave. So, like, it's funny when I get these, like, grifting accusations, and it's like, I just had some homie off of Twitter, and then Dave Smith the next episode. So, I mean, whatever. Call me a grifter all you want. I really don't give a shit. I mean, grifting is just when, as Brandon said, and I think I did a little IP theft on that one and made a tweet. I said, it says fucking, what did I say? Said grifting is just when someone you don't like makes $10. That's basically what it is. But anyways, I want to touch on. You guys seem to be liking my fucking anarchist handbook episodes. I kind of want to run through who I got for people. Yes, I am a grifter, Reed. So I'm going to go through the chapters for the anarchist handbook ones. Is Ron Jeremy my father? Do I all look like Ron Jeremy, or is that just a reference to my fat hog? I feel like I'm the old man here. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm like 30. I mean, I guess it's not old, but it's not young either. Anyways, I'm going to go through the upcoming ones and then also remind you guys some of the old ones that have been there. As always, with all these like anarchist handbook ones, Top's been doing dope ass art. So far, my first episode, which he hasn't done art for yet because he started doing it after the fact, but I did the Magnus episode on Sterner, Magnus Panvidia. That I've honestly liked every one of these episodes, and this isn't me just like like bloviating essentially. My hog is bigger than Ron's. Well, it's shorter, but don't fuck with me, Reed. My mic's working. I mean, you guys tell me if actually, you know what? I'm not going to ask you if my mic's working because you guys are going to lie to me and tell me it's not just to riff off the joke. But anyways, yeah, Magnus, I did the Sterner episode. You guys should definitely go check that out. That was before so you're 49. You like listening to younger anarchists. Yeah, I mean, I guess I'm young. Yeah, I mean, but I got Magnus for the Sterner episode. You guys should definitely go check that out. That one didn't get as much appreciation as some of the other ones because Dave. That was obviously before the Dave boost, which anyone knows that's such a big boost. Yeah, Jose is such a boomer that he'd believe that and start messing with it. Yeah, like I said, me and Ro go way back, so he's always messing with me for being a tech boomer. He's actually he's the reason I got into podcasting because I'm not gonna go into the long story of what all we did before and stuff, but like he was the one who was like, you start doing a podcast, and I was just like, no, I don't understand the tech. I don't really feel like anyone will listen to what I have to say. Like, I don't know. I don't really feel like I'm that smart. It was funny. I was talking to Dave before we recorded, and I was like, because we were just joking about how I say I'm a retard reads books. I'm like, I don't really think that. I feel like among like people in normal day life, I feel like I'm a borderline genius. I mean, that's like overdoing it. But then among our kind, I feel like kind of an idiot because like a lot of you guys are really smart. So I'm like somewhere in the middle. Maybe I'm just a good in between for normies. But yeah, I had a fucking. I did the Magnus Panvidia episode on Sterner. You guys should definitely go check that out. William Godwin, I have no idea who I'm going to have do that. Prude Han, the issue with these commies, one of the issues of Twitter is you kind of get these bubbles. I don't know any based fucking commies. So if you guys have any suggestions, that's also part of why I'm reading this too. So you guys get suggestions. Give me suggestions for people. So for Prude Han, I don't really have anyone in mind yet. I can't have Magnus do all the lefties. Like that would just be. I really want to have a different person for every single one, ideally. I mean, so Poonhound. The only person I can think of is there's that unicorn. No, not unicorn daddy. There's some chick. The black chick's kind of hot. She friggin' she's some ancom and she's kind of based. So I'd like to find some based ancoms to get for some of the commies on here. Reed, I'm the same camp, borderline genius, everyday life, borderline retard here. But yeah, Herbert Spencer, I don't have anybody for that yet. So if you have any good ideas, Claire Foster, I'll do Stalin. Yeah, that would actually be pretty amazing. Josiah Warren, I don't have anybody for that yet. I don't have anybody for Bakunin yet. Sky Daddy, that's who it was. Rogue, you're right. Yeah, see, and Forrest Mommy says she's way based. She is. If you guys want to get me in touch with her, I don't know if she knows if she's good with theory. I haven't really followed her too much, but she's the only commie that I'm like, because I mean, incoms tend. I mean, from my perspective, in my bubble, they tend to be pretty shitty. Like, I mean, on theory and like they're just generally like pussies. They're not based usually. I mean, I don't know. I don't know a ton of them. I got. I think I said Bakunin. Spooner, I'm going to be doing with Reed. Reed in the comments. Eventually, when we get around to it, I'll do it with Reed. Because according to Reed, I know, Rogue, I already had Magnus hit up Sky Dice. She never got back with me. So I don't know. I mean, maybe she just don't like me. I don't fucking know. I don't like myself sometimes. But yeah, I'm going to have Reed for the Lysander Spooner one, which, I mean, I'll let you in a little like how I'm going about with these. I'm trying to have people that I can like that I feel like exude these people or it means something. Like so for like Reed, Spooner was the guy who made him an anarchist. At least that's what he told me. Maybe it's something that's changed. But yeah, so I'm gonna have Reed do that. That would be I'd love to have. I mean, I'm gonna love having Reed on that. That'll be cool. We'll get to that eventually because that one's probably one of the longer essays in here. So that's gonna be a I don't know. I got to put in some time because I don't think you guys realize I'm actually like when I've been doing these episodes, I've been reading these essays like multiple times, a lot of times too, listening to the audiobooks to kind of just soak it in so I can actually have a good talk about it. I know a lot of people want me to have like Legal Man or like a lot of people want me to have people have critiques. Ideally, I'm trying with these to not make these critiques. I'm trying to make these the best Steelman possible. So that's why I'm trying to find guests who actually like exude them and like kind of agree with them. I mean, obviously we're going to have like a little bit of stuff that we may pick at here and there, but I'm trying to do my best to kind of create a whole, like essentially exude their ideas and to the best that they would want them to be. I also was thinking on this too. I really feel like it'd be cool if after I do this, some fucking Ancom or something does these because, like I'm obviously going to have a little bit of a bias and like, I'm going to represent these a certain way. So it'd be kind of cool to see the flip side. And then obviously I'd go watch those. Johan Most, I'm going to have Sam Arkist is his name. A lot of people might not know. It's not a mustache. It's just stubble, guys. Everyone keeps bringing that up. This is literally like a couple days of stubble. I don't know. It's just how it shows up on the camera. But yeah, I'm going to have Sam do Johan Most. And Sam is Sam Arkist. I don't remember his exact handle. If anyone's in here knows him, you can put his name in the comments. I'll read it out. He's done a book. I haven't got around to reading it. Johan Most is very much a Fed post kind of guy. And what's up, Meredith? And so yeah, Sam definitely fits that. He literally did a book on I wish I could remember the name of the book, but it's basically about fucking insurrection and shit like that. So I'm pretty sure that essay, if I remember correctly, is how to make dynamite. So that'll be good. The Lewis Ling episode. I was really trying to get Shu because we had our entire gang. She's never really thanks, Meredith. You look good too. For Lewis Ling, I want to get I wanted to get Shu. She never really hit me back. I mean, it's like shit. This is like a 3 or 4 page essay. I feel like she can handle it. But I'm starting to think because I really feel like something about Shu kind of puts off a Ling vibe. But now I'm thinking I think I might do that for my 100th episode, and I think it might be solo. Which I mean, as I said, I hate solos, but as I said, I'm trying to find people who exude it. And while I don't feel like I exude Ling at this current place in time, but I can definitely identify with him at a younger age. Especially, like, I mean, when I was like 18, 19, or actually I was 19, I joined the military. A lot of you guys know this who have been following me. So I definitely had that like piss and vinegar at one time. Really was like I could see myself kind of being along the Ling lines because I joined the military because I genuinely was like, I mean, doing wrong. Part of it is like, security, money, stuff like that. But there was like definitely a portion of, what, Clinton would be good for Ling. I don't know how I didn't think about that. That's a good, yeah, I might think on that one. But anyways, yeah, Clinton was actually a really good option for Ling. Like he is very Fed posty. And I was thinking about doing it for me just because I do feel like younger me exudes it, and I can still obviously pull that up. I can definitely identify with that energy of like, I'm going to go do violence for liberty. Like I can, because that's partially why I joined the military. I genuinely joined it because it was like, I was the idiot. It was like, I'm going to go kill people to protect my countrymen. And I mean, now obviously I see the lies in that, but that very much was where I was at. Like I mean, I've talked to a few people. I've had a few vets on before, and we talked about this, and they kind of pervert what is man. And I feel like there is very much a part of man that's the warrior, and they pervert that part of us. And that was what I joined for. I legit wanted to go kill people for that. Like, I mean, but yeah, Clint would be good, guys. You guys got my mind churning. I might have to get Clint for that one. But anyways, Tucker, I did Tucker with Ace. I just dropped that the other day. It's not getting much love. You guys need to go check that out. It's honestly probably, I have a hard time saying the favorite because I like all of them for different reasons, but that one's really good. No, I haven't done Henry David Thoreau. If you don't know, Trevor, I'm doing an Anarchist Handbook series. For those not in the know, this is the one that was put together by Malice, and I've been doing a episode for each one. I've done 4 so far, and like I said, the Ace one's the one I just did. You guys should really go check that out. It was really good. That one was on Benjamin Tucker, which I find it really interesting because you read it and like I just mentioned in a podcast the other day, and like you could literally swap out socialism with capitalism there, and probably the vast majority of Austrians wouldn't pick it up. I mean, obviously, like the good ones would. There are some stuff where he does kind of touch on like the labor theory of value a little bit, and you kind of are like, if you're good on your economics, you'd be like, oh, but the vast majority of NCAPs, I genuinely think if you could like just copy and like or swap out those words, they wouldn't even know. Kropotkin, don't have anybody for that. Leo Tolstoy, I'm gonna have Jacob Winograd, the Daniel 3 guy. I mean, obviously he's religious. You know, Tolstoy's coming from a religious perspective. Alexander Berkman. This is what I want from you guys. Anyone here? Meredith, I already mentioned earlier. I had Magnus. He did Sterner. We did Sterner. Go check that one out. It's really good. But I mean, I'll be honest. That was my first one, so I was a little bit clunky in that one because I don't think I'd figured out how to go about approaching the like doing literature episodes. So I mean, I was a little bit clunky, but I think fucking Magnus definitely picked up my slack, and we still kind of Jesus Christ, are you guys messing with me? Have you considered Magnus? Yes, I definitely considered Magnus. I can't have Magnus do every lefty, okay, guys? But Alexander Berkman, I want Bob Murphy. That is who I want. I want Bob Murphy for Alexander Berkman. Those I'll let you guys know Alexander Berkman is. Alexander Berkman was like basically Emma Goldman's longtime lover, and I just get a lot of from reading that essay. Obviously, Bob Murphy and Alexander Berkman are very diametrically opposed when it comes to maybe not entirely opposed, but they're very different when it comes to their theory essentially. But this essay was on criminal justice, and I can just reading it, I very much got a lot of Bob Murphy out of that. Because he's comes from more of the pacifists. He's religious, whatever. Anyways, Bob Murphy. I'd love to get him for that, but that dude, he's big timing. Valterine Declaire, I'm getting Tommy Salmons for that one because I feel like he's a good choice. Emma Goldman, I already did Thaddeus. That's a good one. You guys should check that out. Charles Robert Plunkett. I've talked with Pete Quinones. I'm going to try to get him to do that. I'm trying to remember what that one was. That's another Fed posty one. But yeah, Linda and Morris Tannehill. I don't have anyone for that yet. David Friedman Kaufman. I know a lot of people are gonna get pissy because Friedman is alive, and it's like David Friedman, and he's like I probably could get David Friedman, but I mean, I don't mean it's any insult to David Friedman, but I don't really feel like we're gonna have that kind of vibe, and that I'm looking for, and I don't know. I just feel like that's kind of predictable too, and that's not really what I'm going for. Rothbard. I did Dave Smith. That's my this is why I'm where I'm at right now. I got the Dave boost. I got that. Fucking yeah, definitely go check that out. That's it's almost like 10K views. It's kicking ass. John Hasness. I got Keith Knight for that. And the last chapter is Michael Malice. And that is going to probably be the last one I do of all of these. And the goal is hopefully to get Malice out by that point. I mean, obviously it's a high goal. But I mean shit. I mean, hopefully he can by that point. That would be fucking dope. Get Larry David. Okay. All right. Anyways, I'm gonna move on into what this was originally supposed to be, and I guess maybe we could do like questions if any of you guys do actually have questions. I kind of wanted to touch on. There's been a talking point that's been going around lately that I don't just kind of gets under my skin, and I made a tweet about it. And I'll read the tweet so you guys can know what I'm saying. Is everyone has a God really isn't that deep or damning. Simply means everyone has some sort of a priori truth they operate off of, and is also a very liberal use of the word God. We get it. Solipsism is an unworkable system. So what? And then I put under it too, is like in a separate tweet. This isn't even a dig at religion, by the way. I'm just tired of hearing this talking point, especially from people I respect. It's one of those things that sounds deep until you really think it through. I'll do Malice. Okay. Jason, yeah, if you get Malice, that'd be. Oh, you saying you do Malice. Oh, I got you. But yeah, no, I wanted to touch on this because it is one of those things that I just feel like, and this isn't me even trying to like shit on Christianity or anything. I actually, if anything, I want them to do better. While I am an atheist, and I just don't. I actually very much see utility in religion, especially in like a sense of anarchism or libertarianism or whatever. I am far past the angry atheist phase. I mean, I think I've done like one edgy atheist post, and literally the joke was to expose how butthurt people got. I literally even said in the tweet, and now I'm muting just to watch, see everyone freak out, and of course, they freaked out. Do I believe in rights? Yes and no. Depends what you mean by that. I check out my Sterner episode. That'll give you a better concept of where I'm coming from when it comes to rights. I kind of see them as an ought, if you will. I don't believe them as they're like an objective thing that exists. Like I do think it's the preferable mode to go by. Anyways, yeah, go check out the Sterner episode if you want to see that. But anyway, I'm going to start with defining terms. Atheism and agnosticism, because this is the thing too. When everyone, the first thing people go to when you say you're an atheist, people go, "Oh, so you think there's no God?" I'm like, no. It's the all right, inalienable rights. Once again, go check out my Sterner episode, dude. That'll explain where I'm coming from. It's kind of yes and no. I mean, if anyone knows Sterner, that's kind of. I'm very much. I don't know if I'd necessarily call myself an egoist, but I'm basically kind of an egoist. But anyways, atheism, agnosticism. I consider myself an atheist, but I'm not asserting that there is no God. It's basically an I don't know. The way I see when it comes to theism, atheism, agnosticism, Gnosticism, it's kind of like the political compass. Like you have one fucking, was it Virtus? That's essentially the agnostic Gnostic, and there's one that's the theism atheist. So one atheism, theism's question of belief, and then Gnosticism is a question of knowledge. So I would be an agnostic atheist. So am I looking to critique Malice? No, I am not looking to critique Malice. But I consider myself an agnostic atheist. So I mean, I'm both agnostic and atheist. So this is why people go, "Oh, I'm agnostic," and like, okay, but are you an atheist or a theist? Because it really is one or the other. There's no like in between. But yeah, anyways, I don't accept that. I don't believe there's a God. I hasn't met my threshold of belief. But I don't claim to know that, because I mean, and honestly, that's actually where my real issue is people are Gnostics, like people who claim to know, whether you're an atheist or theist. I'll actually concede though that Gnostic atheists are far dumber than Gnostic theists, because it's like, at least for a Gnostic theist, there's a possibility that they could be proven right. But like to assert a negative like that, especially a negative that's like a god, there's no way that can ever be asserted. There's no way that can ever be proven. It's an unprovable thing. So at least, like, I mean, it's a small leg up, but it's a leg up for the Gnostic theists there. So sure, they get a win there, but I just don't like Gnostics in general. If you're saying some sort of assertion of that that there is no God or that there is a God, it's like, you don't fucking know that. You don't. You're just kind of being an idiot. You just don't. Yeah, I'm atheist. I don't believe in God. I believe others do have that belief. All atheists are agnostics until we get actual proof. So it is what it is. Yeah, no, I mean, that is one thing too. I mean, I guess maybe not proof. I mean, everyone has their different level of what they consider proof. And that's kind of the issue. So, I mean, I'm not even really mad at agnostic theists. I mean, I guess I kind of probably think they're wrong. I mean, but it's not really that big of a deal to me. I mean, they just clearly have a different threshold for belief. Maybe they're even they know something I don't, or they've seen something I haven't. I don't. But for me, there's nothing that I've seen that really, is convincing me. I actually grew up religious. For those who don't know, I came out of the church. But yeah, the big issue for me, and it's kind of silly, but like for me growing up, and when I was growing up, the big thing was like gay marriage, and for some reason that always kind of like really messed with me because all the church and stuff, they were very against it. And while I'm not gay, it was just always just didn't make sense to me. Like I just couldn't even logically be like, why would this matter? Like even as a young person, I was very much able to be like, from a biological perspective, it actually makes sense to have non-breeders, if you will, in communities. I mean, obviously, it's a balancing act, and there has been like some genetic stuff that's shown that it was like third or fourth sons or some shit are more likely, which would make sense from a biological sense that like, well, fucking, like we don't need any more breeders in this community, essentially. But anyways, I also want to say that the people who are making these arguments, I very much respect. I also want to clarify that this isn't directed at anyone in particular. This tweet was something I'd saved in my drafts while I was on a Twitter suspension on a 7-day. So like I know the time that this was dropped seemed very suspect for a certain other person who dropped an episode around the same time. And a lot of people were like, "Are you calling out this person?" I'm like, "No, I'm not." I mean, I guess it kind of applies to them as well, but it's not them specifically. And the timing just is coincidental. But yeah. Anyways, yeah, I very much respect these people. I just want to make better arguments. I just think like even if your point is that you're trying to push this concept, if you have a shit talking point, because for me, like looking at this, I'm giving these people favorable interpretation, and I don't really have a bone to pick with them. So like I don't really care if they want to be religious or convince others to be religious, whatever. But when they say something like that, if they're say me a few years ago when I was that angry atheist, that would be for me, it would be instant ammo in my head. Be like, well, that's fucking stupid, because I know I was smart enough to see the holes in that logic and be like, no, that doesn't make sense. Like there's an issue here. But yeah, anyways, I also want to say too, before I get into it, that this was actually me steel manning the position to the best of my ability. This because there are multiple ways this can be interpreted, that everyone has a God thing. And by the way, for you guys in the comments, if you guys have anything to like push back, because I mean I could be missing something. But anyways, yeah, this is the best interpretation I could give, because the way I saw, the only way this could kind of make sense, everyone having a God, is if you're conflating a God with some sort of a priori truth. That's the only thing that really made sense to me. But at that point, because then there is actually legit, like philosophically speaking, there is a point to that. Because I mean, I used to be way better at this stuff when I was in my angry atheist phase and looking into this stuff. So this is like old stuff that I used to be really interested in, more philosophy stuff. But essentially, to me, that how I interpret that is that it's kind of saying that everyone has to have some sort of a priori truth they at least operate off of. You don't have to accept it, but you have to operate off of. Because if you don't, then you get into solipsism. And solipsism, for those who are unaware, that's essentially like, it's like the brain in the vat thing. Like, how do we know we're not a brain in the vat? It's like, you don't know. There's no way to really know that. But you kind of operate off a level of certitude to where you're like, okay, well, I mean, I guess technically that's a possibility, but we're 99.999 infinity repeated. Most likely that's probably not the case. I mean, obviously I'm just pulling that number on my ass, but I mean, at the end of the day, this is all we have to work off of. So it's kind of this thing we'll never be able to prove. So you may as well just operate off of, start from the starting point of, we have senses, we interact with the outside world. My eyes work, my sense of feeling works, whatever. Then also we can kind of, pool together experiences from other things to build up logical proofs and so on and so forth. Essentially, your building block is, starting from that you interact with the world. Because if you don't have that, then you're fucked. You get in a nonsensical world. I mean, it's because then you get into some things are and some things aren't, and you can't have a thing that isn't, and you just get into weird territory. It just doesn't make sense if you get beyond there. So this is where, some people kind of shit on atheists for that, and they're like, well, you have to accept some sort of illogical proof at some point. It's like, okay, sure. And so to me, that's kind of what I hear when I hear that. Ironically, though, even then, most Christians aren't really using God as an a priori. For those in the know, look into presuppositionalists. Those are the only ones who actually really use God as an a priori, and they are a logical nightmare. If you want to like really beat yourself up, watch some sort of debate with a presuppositionalist. Fucking nightmare. Because literally it comes back to, well, God said. And that's literally, it genuinely is like, that's their building block, their starting point of, truth. That's where they operate off of, is that. So you can't even use logic because that's where they're starting from. And so, yeah, for me, that's the best interpretation I could possibly give to say everyone has a God. I would say that I would actually be okay, like if there was a slight modifier to the statement, like the vast majority or something. Obviously, it's not as punchy then, but like the vast majority of people have a God. Sure, because I mean, obviously we're getting to a spot where it's semantics and you're twisting definitions, and you're like, well, how are we defining God? It just gets into really weird territory, and I really feel like this is sloppy. And if you're using this in argument, I mean, it might work for the in-group, but even then, even if you have someone that's smart in the in-group, because I actually have I talked to someone who kind of agrees, sort of, and they were like, yeah, no, that doesn't make sense. Like, so the only really that really even works is like to an in-group signaling. Like the out-group, it doesn't work at all. Which, I mean, sure, if that's what you're going for, if you're only going for in-group signaling, sure. I mean, there's utility in that for certain things, but I don't even really think it works that well for in-group signaling. It's sloppy. So I feel like should up that. I mean, I don't know. I've heard too many people say this. I guess I can go into. Okay, here's someone. My understanding of your tweet was that everyone has a God was comparable, that everyone recognizes some ultimate source of authority. You meaning my tweet specifically? I don't know if I would consider that. I mean, maybe. But yeah, I mean, then I was talking to my buddy James Gentleman. We were talking through, and he was kind of like, well, I kind of see this as like, well, everyone has someone they worship something they worship, which that I could maybe get on board with. I mean, we're in semantics, because it's like, now define worship, define this, define that. But depending on how you define things, I could probably get behind that, because he's kind of defining worship as some sort of thing you exalt or you sacrifice to or something. And so we're getting more vague territory. I could maybe accept that. Okay. He said, sorry, not your tweet, but my understanding of what everyone has a God means. I mean, maybe everyone recognizes some sort of ultimate source of authority. Maybe that would work. But maybe not. I don't know. I mean, I guess that might work. If you recognize that, sure. Cause like, I guess, I don't know. That one's a little sloppy too. I don't know if I like that, but maybe not. Or maybe that one might be a little better. That might actually be a better Steelman than what I gave, to be honest. I don't know. Everyone has an ultimate source of authority. I'd have to think on that one. That one's a little better. But even with that, I just feel like everyone has a God. While it is punchy, it's like it relies on a very vague definition of God to even work whatsoever. Because like here I am already having to be like, twisting things. Tops in the thing, reverence or adoration. Yeah, I was kind of touching that a second ago with like I talked to James Gentleman of the Blackbird podcast. You guys should check him out. He's great. He was saying that you could kind of use it as worship. But once again, we're kind of in the spot where you're going to conflate God with reverence or adoration, because now we're in the spot where you're defining God as something that you revere or adore. I mean, sure, but I've said many times that words are kind of subjective. So, I mean, sure, but I mean that's the same way that if you define God as an orange, I can't tell you that. I mean, sure, words are subjective, and to you are defining God as an orange, and so sure, in that definition, that's right. So if they are defining it as reverence or adoration, sure, I guess I can kind of accept that, but I feel like that's a very dumb way to use God. I mean, maybe. It's just, you just get in a very weird spot. The whole point is just this talking point is just, it comes off to anyone who isn't giving it the most favorable interpretation you possibly could. It just comes with a smug way to sweep away any criticism against you. And I don't know. I guess I just want better talking points. I actually have no problem whatsoever. I genuinely don't give a fuck if people are religious or not. I mean, I guess I kind of slightly prefer it because obviously me being an atheist, I find that to be slightly more logical. And I do think having a grounded, logical perspective leads you to good decisions in the future. But I don't feel like it matters that much. And it's also like, there's also this bit of, I could be wrong. I don't know. It's not a big deal. I mean, I far more care about getting people to liberty than I do about atheism. I don't give a shit. Like, sure, maybe I slightly prefer it, but it's not that big of a deal. So I guess that, like I've been getting, I want them to have better arguments. Yeah, some people's God is libertarian principles. Top said that. I will concede. I said earlier that I would be okay with people saying that most people have some sort of God or whatever. Even then, that still requires some sort of twisting of how you define God, which I find to be, a little bit. But that would be more. That would be better than I think how people see it. Travis, what's up, dude? Dave should watch the episode we do and then get in the gym. Yeah, Dave, if you're watching, you clearly have a very good genetic build that I feel like if you just start working out, you look really good. No homo. And, while I'm not a fan of like political stuff, there's something to, having a good physique where people kind of, respect you. It's not that people don't respect you. It's just one little thing you could tweak. I don't know. I really feel like you have the kind of build that you probably could work out like 2-3 times a week and you wouldn't take much. You'd look really good real quick. You clearly have good genetics. You're the kind of guy who doesn't have to work out just because you have good genes and you kind of get by on it. I've always thought God by definition is outside our comprehension. Sure. I mean, I guess if there's a God, he is kind of outside our comprehension. I don't know. I guess I don't have any issue with that. I mean, I feel like not to get into like debating theism, atheism. I mean, if God is essentially making it so that if you're using that in a sense of that you can't like use logic to find God or something, I feel like, well, then God's kind of a dick because logic is really the only tools we have in this life. So, whatever. Yeah, I missed the gym talk. Meredith, that was an old episode. Me, Clint, and Travis did way back in the day. I don't have the episode off the top of my head. So, yeah. If you guys have any more, I think I was going to read some of the comments to kind of build off them. Someone said, I mainly use this argument to deal with the pompous and condescending attitude some, not all, atheists have. Just a reminder, like, hey, Sam Harris, chill with the big brain shit. Because when you think about it, his religion is just as wacky as any Bible story. I mean, I completely agree that I'm not a fan of the angry atheist thing. I don't think it's a useful tact to have. I don't feel like, and you know what? On the flip side, I've been noticing something I've been calling religious maximalism or an inkling of it too, which is kind of the opposite of the angry atheist, which I think they both suck. If you're coming from that perspective, they're both kind of shitty, and really both of them, ironically, don't really do a good job towards your ends. Because most angry atheists are like, look how stupid you are. Why do you believe in a God? Like, you shouldn't believe in a God. So it's like your stated goal is to convince them, but you're being an asshole, and anyone's going to immediately be like, fuck you. Like, I don't want to talk to you. Like, frig off. And the same thing goes on the opposite end with this like religious maximalism type stuff. Yeah, Travis said we recorded in May, released in June, Meredith. But yeah, but I don't know if I really buy the religion is just wacky as any Bible story, because I used to follow Sam. I don't think he asserts that there is no God. I might be wrong. Maybe he's changed his perspective since then. So he's kind of takes the same perspective as me. I mean, I will say he can be a little bit condescending at times, but to be fair, that's kind of his thing. He debates religion. But I wouldn't say his religion is wacky. And depending on what you're defining as religion. And I just said to that, I responded and said, my point is this argument is shit, though. It's not to say there aren't good arguments, but it's saying it. Yeah, and then it's just clear that there was other people too that just said they would only use it to like against atheists or kind of being assholes. And it's like, even if that's the case, it's still like you still want to have like, if you're having an angry atheist coming at you and you're gonna throw some like little fucking quippy one-liner that doesn't work, if anything, you're just making him like, you're kind of giving him ammo, or he's just gonna walk away going, look at this fucking idiot. Like, it's just, he really is. Yeah, and then Jason, I don't know if you're in the chat, because I read this, I didn't really get what you're getting at. There's a lot of words, and this is one of those things where I say sometimes I'm kind of dumb. It says, has more to do with values, motivations, and priorities than simply what someone is willing to accept as given without it mastering whatever empirical data or deductive reasoning supports it. It's still, once again, we're getting this vague semantic thing where I don't see the utility in using this little line and then somehow equating God to look at all these things. And I can't stress this enough. I don't have any issue whatsoever with religious people. I generally don't give a shit. Is that you, Jason? Yeah. Okay. Oh, I could tell from that picture. Your picture on Twitter and that are a little bit different. So if you want to expound on that, I guess for me, that doesn't. If I hear everyone is a god, I don't interpret as that, and I have a hard time believing anyone else would interpret that, except for someone who's extremely in group, and even then giving them the most gracious interpretation possible. So you know what I mean? Like I just yeah. I mean, if you want to add more on that in the comments. King Pilled seems to be pushing a religious maximalism topic. I'm not a huge fan of how he makes religions as orthodoxy sound. I've had Maddie on. I like Maddie. He's cool. I would totally critique. I would say the same critique. I don't know if I said that to him at the time or not. I do think, and I think even sometimes some of his other rhetoric, he does come off a little bit pretentious, kind of, and which, to be fair, once again, I did mention earlier in group signaling, he has said before, to his credit, that he's not really trying to out-group signal. So, I mean, if you take into account what he's shooting for, if that's genuinely what he's going for, sure, okay. I mean, even then, I would still. I don't know how much I like for in-group signaling, but whatever. That's the in-group he's signaling for. So, I mean, he stated he's just trying to in-group signal, so that's fine, and which makes sense. He's shooting the elitism route. He's trying to fucking go that way. So, yeah, I wish Tom Woods would discuss his beliefs in Catholicism more in depth than Latin Mass is fun. I've never really got into that, to be honest, into looking at like Tom Woods. I don't know. Can you give me an example of what kind of context you heard this in? I would agree that just asserting this is not a gotcha if you're arguing with an atheist. I've just heard it a few times. I mean, really, anyone paying attention to this shit would kind of know who I'm talking about. A few people, and yeah, they were obviously always talking to one of their own, but it always came off as like, oh, here's this critique, and then just kind of sideswipes it away. I believe I can name names. And by the way, all these people I very much respect. I have a lot of agreements with. I feel like I've heard Dave say it. I've heard Pete say it. I've heard Pops from Popular Liberty. I've heard Maddie, and I just find it to be sloppy. I mean, I'm not even necessarily disagreeing with what they're pushing for, the end, like they're trying to, kind of utilize religion towards liberty. I'm not even necessarily against that. I just feel like I really am. It may sound nitpicky, but it is one I've used multiple times, and it just kind of it comes off as a smug way just to side sweep the issue. Just be like, like, I mean, I'm not saying that's how they do it every time, but that's how it comes off, and it's one of those things that it's a profundity, or there's another term for it. It's essentially when you hear something that sounds really deep, and then when you really think about it, you're like, it's not that deep, and I don't find it to be that deep. And for it to even make sense, it relies on semantic backflips. It doesn't make sense to me. I know a lot of people make the joke, say with like egoists, because I'm more of an egoist. It's like there's that meme where it's like everyone is a god or whatever, or some shit, and then there's a picture of some dude looking in a mirror, and then it's like him, and it's that like egoist thing, the little sterner face, and he's like, yes. Which, I mean, that's like a joke. Even from an egoist perspective, I don't know if I would necessarily say that even egoist sees himself as God. I mean, because like even while as an egoist you see yourself as like the prime thing, you don't necessarily think that you're some. Even then, I feel like it's sloppy to call yourself God. I mean, you might see yourself as the only thing that like you're the ultimate thing that everything kind of spirals out from. But to even still then call it God, like we don't think we're supernatural, that we rise above. Like, I mean, obviously, it's just more of a ultimate individualism, essentially. I don't know. I even find it sloppy there. There's a little bit of an argument to be had. But yeah. Has Bob ever spoken about how he went from atheist to theist? I didn't know Bob was an atheist. I'll be honest, I haven't followed Bob a whole lot. And it's kind of funny. I mean, it may seem like I was just trying to jump on the Jordan Peterson hype, trying to get him for my anarchist hymn book thing. But no, I genuinely, when I read that, I just like, from the little bit I knew about him, like this really makes me think of him, especially knowing like Chaos Theory, which I actually still have to read. I have it saved in my phone right now. I'm trying to listen to it in the next few days. I know he touched on a lot of that, like the criminal justice type stuff. So I just think he'd be great for that. And I would love to have him on. So if you guys want to do me a solid and just, do the whole, like, how everybody does going on a podcast, hit him up. I've tried him up a couple times. So I'll see. Or if you know somebody who knows somebody, that'd be awesome. I mean, I don't know. I would love to have him on. I mean, it really wouldn't even be that much of a commitment because it's a pretty short essay. So I don't even really feel like that would be an episode that would go past an hour. Yeah, he's had a couple podcasts on it. If any of you know which ones, let me know. Backslips sound fun. All right, I feel like I'm probably going to beat myself up later for not covering some other aspect of this. Oh, I do want to touch on that. Another thing I have with that is the universalism of that statement. Because, like I said, I would have no problem with saying like most or this, and obviously then that becomes less punchy. But the universalism is really something that like bugs me because I have no problem saying the vast majority of people have a god or religion or whatever. But to saying all is I mean, really, if you're ever making any sort of universal proclamation, you kind of got to be careful because you may have pie in your face later. Yeah, I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Yeah, and it kind of just comes off as this assertion that you're just that like it really just comes off as this vague assertion that you're just kind of like what, and then you just kind of like okay, now we're moving on as if I just we covered it. Sorry, if you guys have any questions, now's the time. Any other side issues, drop them. Otherwise, I'll probably start wrapping. Yeah, so I'll give you guys a couple seconds. Drop any questions. If not, I'll just fucking kill it. No. All right, cool. Yeah, this has been fun, guys. This is cool testing out a live stream. Like I said, I'll be doing more of these here soon, especially once I get monetized. So, that way I can get that super chat money, baby. All about the money. I'm not all about the money, but I like money. Who gives a fuck? Aren't we supposed to be taking down the COVID regime? Yes. That happens another. I did kind of want to talk on a little bit, just real quickly. There's been a lot of people arguing about like the DeSantis thing today. Which Top, if you're still in here, I know you got into that. Oh shit, real quick. Jason, somebody already mentioned worship. I might define it further as that highest ideal which you endeavor to serve. Could be God, ego, status, wealth, social justice, environmentalists, etc. Yeah, I don't know if you were in here earlier, but I did say that is the one way I could peg it to where like maybe I'd be like, okay, maybe. I still feel like I'd have to think on it more before I completely accept it because I do feel like maybe it's a little bit of a stretch semantically, but you're in far better grounding with that statement of everybody worships something than everyone has a god. But to define something you worship as God is, you're stretching one definition to meet another definition that you're already stretching. But at least if you're just going to worship, you're only maybe stretching one. I mean, although I might even say that's not too bad, kind of accurate, not bad. I don't know. Someone says I found 9 definitions for the word gods. Looks like there's at least a couple more. Yeah, it's a big issue with the like atheism theism thing. Is shit. Half the time, if you watch any atheism theism debates, a lot of times just trying to define what the hell God is because it's just like it's this ever changing thing. Well, now God is love. I'm like, well, okay, then sure, then there's God because there's love. I don't. If you're defining God as love, then yeah, there's God. I'm gonna tell you, okay. Bob Murphy Show episode 74 is his appearance on someone else's podcast. That's Theocracy. Bro, these are the conversations that need to happen. Enjoy following all you weirdos, Nick Cotton, Fat Dave, and the Oak. Oh yeah, going back to the DeSantis thing. It's one thing I've been saying a lot. My little talking point, which maybe I'm fucking wrong too. I don't know. One talking point I've been saying a lot is that we need to stop looking at the public-private as a binary and start looking at it as a fucking as a spectrum. And that's one thing I know everyone always makes fun of you saying as an agorist. Even if you don't want to be an agorist, read fucking Konkin. He really contributes a lot here. And I know Rothbard touched on these as well, but I feel like Konkin did a better job of emphasizing it. So there's a lot to be there. Like, even if you just want to strengthen your rhetoric, especially in modern day with this fascism we're seeing and this blending of public and private. That's I think there's some utility to looking as a spectrum. And I really see this like arguing that we have going on with, like, say with the DeSantis thing. A lot of people are looking at the DeSantis thing and going, oh my God, he's banning, I forget exactly what it is. He's like or putting a fine on people who are trying to make people have vaccines or whatever. Jose out here implying businesses are autistic. Yeah, they're on the spectrum. But yeah, I mean, to me, I kind of almost borderline see that as government putting restrictions on something that's government, because let's be real. They're merging public and private. And obviously, I know. Well, somebody be like, "Well, about this little mom and pop shop," and it's like, okay, yeah, that one is far less on the public side of things than the private, but it's still a little bit. I mean, that's this perversive nature of corporations or all these little regulations that the state imposes. It essentially indebts these little companies to them. So it's not this clean divide that we like it to be. And that's kind of what we have here. Is we have these people arguing that hey, we can't have him doing this because this is against our principles, because this is someone infringing upon the private sector. And then it's like, but then you have other people on the other side that are going, oh, well but sometimes we need to bend our principles a little bit. We need to bend our principles. And it's like, holy shit, you guys are both missing the point here. Like, it's neither. Like, you're like, one side is out here is saying that, and then another side is like essentially conceding that your principles are shit. Like, I put out a tweet today, a lot of people got butthurt about it. It was actually a little bit spawned from Nick Ashley for something we talked about on GC. I'll actually bring it up because I actually thought it was pretty good real quick. Let's see if I can find it. Sorry, I know this is great fucking shit. Oh, fuck. Give me a second, guys. At a certain point, if your principles are only applicable in Capistan, then maybe your principles aren't so good. Get better ones. If your principles only work in theory, then they are shit principles. Which, yeah, I mean, that's kind of like, pizza, you're living in Capistan in your head is fantastic. I kind of agree with it because I kind of get what he's getting at, but I do think the implication people get from that is that then, oh, well, we need to bend or break our principles. And it's like, no, maybe your principles are not completely refined or aren't right. Because if your principles don't apply to the real world, then your principles are shit. Like, how is that any different than saying communism is great in theory? Like, it's not. Like, so, like, your principles suck. And that's kind of what I'm saying, this small little tinkering of switching from looking at it a binary to a spectrum completely changes how you look at it entirely. And that makes far more sense in this modern with our modern sensibilities. So I feel like you apply that to your principles and boom, problem solved. I mean, and yeah, don't get me wrong, there might be other places here and there where maybe it's wrong, but if you get to a point where your principles don't apply, you probably should think it through some more and find out why, because either you're not seeing the whole picture or your principles suck. It's that simple. I mean, because I know that's the way I see it. So that's why I see both these sides in this libertarian, sphere are fucking up with this, because both are wrong. Like one side is saying, hey, we should be principled. The other one's saying you're going against our principles. And it's like, well, one, your principles aren't completely correct right here. That's why. I mean, yeah. Anyways, yeah, I guess I kind of touched on that. So if you guys have any other questions, drop them now. A self-preservation will always come before principles. Someone says that. This is why I like egoism, because that kind of solves that problem for me, because that's my ultimate principle. And everything expands out from there. So like when it comes to me, my family, I actually just think that abiding by like something along the lines of natural rights actually is best for self-preservation, especially if we apply them amongst everyone. But if there comes to be a scenario where it's preservation, if it's like taking care of my family or whatever, I mean, I know a lot of people are like, well, I'll be unprincipled there. And like, for me, no, I'm not bending my principle. That is my principles. I'm sorry. Taking care of myself and my family is my utmost principle. So either you're not seeing the whole picture or your principles suck. Good summary is what someone said. If DeSantis issued the executive order and chose not to enforce against small business or ones at risk employees, that'd be ideal. Yeah, I'll agree with that. I mean, it's not ideal. Yeah, because that was kind of what I was getting at earlier. Obviously, small businesses are less public, more private. I would definitely prefer that. I mean, but you know how the government works. They work in sweeping fucking mandates. When people said that libertarians have an inherent aversion to power, and that is why they will never gain and use it, blow my mind. The last part kind of got a little sloppy with unless I'm reading it wrong. Yeah, I mean, I know I'm kind of a big fan of Pop's theory of archetypism. You guys should look into that, because he kind of looks at the two prong. I'm obviously more of the agorist bent, but I do think there's something too that, like, if you're going to go the power way, it makes more sense to go where the actual power is. But I mean, I don't know. I'm more of the agorist bent. I have my issue. I have my my things where I see why that side of his two-pronged thing wouldn't work. Because, I mean, to kind of sum up, his thing is he kind of wants to go like Poppy Lip, someone said. He kind of wants to go along the utilize the Republican Party, and then on the other prong to kind of utilize like agorism type stuff, which obviously I agree with one of those prongs. And even then the other prong, I actually agree with more using the Libertarian Party, which you guys can go check out my other work if you want to see that. I'm actually going to have an episode with Buck dropping here soon. Buck Johnson. Be dropping next week. By the way, I'm gonna probably count this as like my next week's episode. So I mean, I'm gonna try to do that private thing I was talking about earlier. So I'll probably drop this early as an episode early next week, and then I'll probably drop the Buck episode late next week. But yeah, and that when we talk on a lot of the other stuff, we talk a lot about tactics in the episodes. Cool. We touch like on NRX, wealth, power, influence, agorism, paleo, obviously the libertarian thing. So if you want to know more about my perspective there, you can definitely check that out. The principles argument hinges on people being uncomfortable acting in self-defense against the totality of what constitutes aggression instead of just acting against overt violence. Oh yeah. I get where you're getting at. Yeah, this is a thing where people see the NAP, and this is this kind of touches on too, where I'm saying maybe your principles suck earlier, because a lot of people will say like, or will shit on the NAP and be like, oh well, what am I supposed to just like not wait until they kick in my door? And it's like, no, if you like properly logic, essentially, you will see that the government by its very existence is imposing against you. It is aggressing against you. So there is already there. It's the threat is already there. They're already aggressing against you. I genuinely think like you're basically morally justified at that point. I mean, but now is it tactically sound? In most cases, not. Like if you get pulled over by a cop and you beat the shit out of the cop, guarantee you that's not going to end well for you. Are you morally in the right? Sure. I mean, I have no problem admitting that. You are 100% morally A-okay. I will give you a big old thumbs up and go, way to go, dude. That was fucking awesome. as you're getting your brain blown out by a cop. Like, I mean, I'll be like, that was dumb, but you're morally on the up and up. I mean, which is kind of like where people don't get that. It's like, morally does not equate to the smart thing to do, which, I mean, you guys should go check out Ace's debate with Brad Palumbo. This is basically the entire debate. And I mean, that's funny because like, it was just like Brad just couldn't get through his head that like, because he would always then go to like, well, if you do that, that's not going to end well. And he's like, yeah, I know. Like, that doesn't mean it's immoral or you shouldn't be allowed to do it. Power will always exist. Hierarchy is natural. Yes, I agree. I am 100% okay with power. I just want to, I mean, as ANCAPs, we all understand we would prefer non-coercive power. Storming the Capitol was great and stupid. Yeah, it was pretty awesome in a certain sense. Hey, dude, just want to say congrats on 1,000. You're a super smart dude. You deserve the attention you're getting. I'm also low-key gay for you. I'm high-key gay for you, Reed. Yeah, I've said many times you have a raw masculine sexuality about you. Yeah, no, thanks, Reed. You were like one of my first big like shows I got on. I mean, there's probably someone out there that's probably butthurt now and is like, wait, what? You were on my show before? I don't know. I'm really bad with sequences of events and how they happened. So, but yeah, no, Reed, you have been very much, I always joked whenever like fucking Dave hit me up. I kept like being like, dude, you totally hit up Dave, didn't you? You totally hit up Dave. You swear you didn't, but I still think that you were like, hey, Dave, hook up Jose. But yeah, no, Reed. I know Reed has gotten some flack from some people. A lot of people love to hate on him on the online, but he's actually a really, really great guy. I really can't say enough. He's every bit as good as. There's a reason why everybody likes Reed. He's a fucking sweetheart. Jose is Reed-hearted. I am very Reed-hearted. Yeah. Any other questions? Give it a couple seconds. So I think we're at a good point. Congrats, well-deserved 1K. Yeah, I really appreciate it, guys. I mean, I don't know if I really. I mean, I got obviously I have the Tower Gang guys to like. I mean, we started the Tower Gang thing, so that was a big thing to all those guys. Big thank you to all the Tower Gang homies. To Reed, to Clint. Reed's BoomerCon tweeting is top notch. Yeah, big facts. Yeah, no, I got Clint. I definitely have Dave to thank. Josh Smith, he had me on his show. I mean, this community is fucking awesome. I really love this community. Everyone, I really like the congrats. Go Israel. Yeah, I love Israel. Israel's awesome. But yeah, thanks. I'm glad you liked this live episode. I was worried how it was going to go. I mean, I was pretty good at it. Is kind of helpful having this like live comments thing because it gives me shit to riff off of when I start freaking the fuck out. But yeah, no, I'm trying to think if there's anybody else I forgot. But yeah, this community in general, like for any of you guys looking to get into podcasting or whatever, like you'd be surprised at people. I mean, obviously there's some of the big dogs. There's a Tom Woods. Obviously I found out Bob Murphy's one of those big dogs. You got the Dave Smiths that you really do got to put in the time. But the vast majority of them are all about, yeah, I'll come on your show. I mean, let's be real though. It's understandable with some of those big dogs. Like fucking people are, those people are probably busy as fuck. So yeah, but why do you have toys in the background? Because I'm a fucking man child. Okay. New Reed and Tower Power are all feds. Yeah, everyone. You might as well just assume everyone's a fed in the Liberty movement. It went much better than you seem to think it would based on how you were talking about in the group chat. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I've done probably 2 solo episodes, and they weren't live streams, and so I didn't have this like comments thing. Congrats on the 1K, bro, from Marshall Forward. What's up, Jose? Hey, what's up? Yeah, no, thanks, man. Yeah, I don't know. Please don't be man-child, okay? No, I'm gonna be a man-child. I don't know. This is shit I like. I'll tell you. I mean, this is fucking. I got a house, and I was like, I'm gonna put shit I like in it. Well, fuck you. But yeah, I mean, this is literally attached to my master bedroom. It's what's called a sitting room, and so yeah. Anyways, when you getting Dawson on? I don't know. I mean, well, eventually, I guess. I mean, I had the little bit of an issue with them scheduling last time. Don't diss the toys; they are based. Toys are awesome. Fuck, you threw out my yeah. No, I've done 2 solo episodes before. Those I don't feel like did very good, but I don't know. But that was also a long time ago, so maybe I just have gotten better since then. I don't know. Maybe I was more prepared. I also know, like, I think the first solo episode I ever did was like literally my first episode, and I hyper prepared for that. So I feel like I may have hyped myself out a little bit. It was also my first one. The one I did later, I was like, I got a little bit too loose, and I was like, oh, I can do it. And I didn't really prepare at all. And now I've found this like kind of balance when it comes to preparing for episodes. And yeah, I got a little bit of a balance now. I do make like a loose outline, but I don't go like too bad with it. I like lockdowns and vaccines, so fuck me. I don't know. I'd have to check you out. I mean, are you cute? I mean, I'm pretty down for the pound. What are your thoughts on Hoppian shitting all over Agorist? I don't consider myself an Agorist, but I see his fellow comrades. I don't know. When it comes to like tactics, I've said before, I feel like we all need to admit we are very much in subjective territory. So while I may shit on other tactics, and I say shit kind of silly because I do think we should very much try to be friendly in these discussions. I mean, that's not saying you should like concede any ground or whatsoever, but I do think this is something that should be handled with maturity. This should be like something you debate about intellectually. There's a difference between people who fucking have, I disagree on how we go about attaining liberty, or someone who's like, you're a racist. Like, these are very different things. And I feel like people have different tactics. We should get along. Although I'm not gonna lie, I get kind of irritated with some of the libertarian ones who always get irritated with the people of other tactics, and then just do like, well, why don't we do them all? And it's like, well, because I clearly think this is preferable, and therefore I think you should do this. So I'm trying to intellectually convince you. I mean, I don't tell you. I mean, I might be wrong, but this is how we figure it out. We talk it through. Who knows? Maybe the everything approach works. Who fucking knows? I don't really know where Hopkins get off shitting on Agorist. I don't know. I actually know. I do know where they get off of shitting Agorist. It's because Konkin identified himself as a left libertarian. But here's the thing: most people don't realize when he was doing left, right, or whatever, he wasn't using the conventional left-right dichotomy. The way he saw the left-right divide at that time was the left would be not utilizing the political system, whereas the right was utilizing the political system. And this is why he saw Rothbard as a right libertarian, not because he was culturally right or whatever. He saw them as that because Rothbard saw a opening in utilizing the political system. Konkin did not, and this is why he defined himself as left. This is actually more accurate to the historical view of left and right, because the historical view of left and right was like, I don't remember how it was like which side of the king they sat on, but typically those were the ones who like genuinely advocated not utilizing the government. Like those were the ones. So that is more accurate with the historical definition. But there's so many definitions of left and right thing. That's why I do get genuinely kind of irritated, and I brought up multiple times with people who do get really hung up the left-right thing, that the left-right dichotomy is broken. So, I mean, I'm not saying, like, if you just start out and define your terms, like, this is what I'm talking about, sure. But a lot of people get pretentious and be like, well, they said they're left or this or that. And it's like, and to be fair, to give them a little bit of credit, there is some sort of self-fulfilling prophecy that occurs with something like that. When you say, hey, I'm a left libertarian, then that then kind of does attract the left libertarians who go, ooh, agorism. Oh, this is a lefty thing. And so there are kind of, it does kind of sort of get infiltrated lefty. So there is some sort of self-fulfilling God damn it, that's fucking me up. Self-fulfilling prophecy to it, to where it does kind of attract that, and the opposite end, then you have the people who bitch. But they're kind of like both wrong. So, I mean, there's always going to be idiots who don't understand their actual ideology that get involved in ideology on every side. So it's kind of a silly. I mean, I guess looking back, I kind of wish Konkin didn't define it as left libertarian because that's how we have this issue. This is why they think we're like faggy lefties or some shit. I don't know. I mean, that's where they come from. They do have some sort of like point on how they think like utilizing the counter market will only make things worse. I mean, I actually kind of agree to some extent because I have talked to Pops about this, that I'm of the opinion that, utilizing agorism will essentially create liberty in certain pockets and then will also increase the authority and authoritarianism in others. But I'm actually kind of want to increase the divide because I feel like it makes it more apparent the difference. And it makes the choice between being in one or the other more voluntary. All right, what about Malang? Oh, I'd love to have Malang on. More real, God or the U.S. dollar? I don't know. It's a good one. Gets 1K, talks Dawson, gets zucked. I mean, I honestly don't even really have much I really want to talk to Dawson about. I know he would be a good get for views and stuff, but I don't know. I mean, I genuinely, when I pick people to go on, like I do genuinely, like I kind of start off with roughly an idea I want to talk about and then kind of then think like who would be a good guest. What happens first, secession or Native American reservations becoming independent nations? I don't know. Fuck, I'm cute. Flex. What's up, Naturals Cat? It's funny how he rolls with it. Humor is always great to have in a live stream. Yeah. Please remove the toys and get a no step on snack flag instead. Yeah, that's definitely the move. All right, I'll give you guys, I guess, another second to fucking put questions. I've been talking a lot anyways. I need to take a drink. Agorist, handhold, Hoppians. We can have our differences, but let's remember at the end of the day, we want the same thing. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of my point. Not to name drop again, but like it's one thing in my episode with Dave we talked about. So like, while we may have difference in tactics, we have to realize we're sitting on subjective ground whenever we're talking about tactics. While there are people who say there is, I don't feel like there's these magical, mathematical formula you can be like, well, this is how I can show you I'm right. We're in this like very social sciencey area where we're like, how will this happen if we do this? If I vote, how will this affect this? We're very much on shaky ground. We don't know. So it is kind of to some extent, I did an episode with Ace and Pops and we talked about this, and it's like, we actually think you should pick your, because we were talking about the difference between thin and thick libertarian, and we were talking about pick your thin libertarian ideology and go with that. Instead of having this like thick, God, I'm fucking it up. Whatever. All right, better bowler, Konkin or Michael Moore? I don't fucking know. Yeah, I lost my train of thought on the other one. I had a point, but I fucked it up. All right, we're getting kind of good in time here. So that's best pizza topping. I'm a meat lovers kind of guy. If you can't, I'm kind of a chunky boy. I like meat. I like my protein. Unfortunately, not unfortunately, I love my family, but having kids, they fucking all they ever want is cheese or pepperoni. It's fucking boring. It's like, I like pepperoni pizza, but it's like, Jesus fucking Christ, can I have something different? Conkin's original thick libertarian. Yeah, that's big facts. Bacon. Yeah, bacon's a good topping. Bacon and pineapple. I'm a pineapple guy. Yeah, all right, cool. I think we're getting the weeds now. So unless somebody has something substantive, I think I'm going to kill it. Meatball is the best pizza topping. Let's see, one more time. All right, cool. I guess that's where I'll kill it. As always, you can find me on the No Way Jose YouTube channel. You can find me on all the major audio podcatchers. I'm on Odyssey as well. I am at Galley San Jose on Twitter. Go follow me. Like I said, support me at patreon.com / No Way Jose 2020. Like, share, subscribe, comment, and all that shit. Thanks for all the congratulations on the 1K subscribers. Peace, get monetized, bro. Yeah, I'm literally just waiting on it to come back. So we'll find out. No toys next time, please. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and clear these all out for you. Oh, real quick before I do kill it. This thing right here, for the audio people that are going to be like, I don't give a shit. But this, God, this fucking gun up here, it's a legit Civil War gun. So that's cool. My wife's family found it on their farm in like North Carolina. I die inside when Malice reacted to your anarchist series with Matt. He didn't react with Matt. I don't know. I feel like it wasn't like obviously what I wanted. I dropped a super chat on one of his streams and letting him know I had it. I didn't get that vibe from him. He's also, you gotta think he's reading a shitload of super chats. So, but yeah, and then the little shield right there. I made that in. I was working night shift because I was an aircraft mechanic. I was working a night shift. I was in a hangar with with fucking like sheet metal guys, and we just were like had nothing going on for weeks, and we're like, "Want to fuck around?" And we're like, "Yeah." So we made a fucking World War II style Captain America shield. So that's pretty dope. All right, yeah, that's it. I actually really kind of pleased with how that went. Expect more of these in the future. I won't be reading all of them. How are you more offended by the toys and the door stickers? Yeah, I put a bunch of stickers on there. I think if I remember correctly, my kids got those from me. So I don't know. It's fucking cool. It's a closet door, so who gives a shit? Those are easy to replace if it becomes a thing. They're shitty quality anyways. I'll be doing more of these in the future. I will be dropping these as episodes, audio and video later. This will probably, I'm going to try to see if I can put this as private. That way, gives my patrons some sort of incentive. I'll be expecting more of these, but, obviously this will be with guests and stuff, and it will be more like I'll probably only be picking them up with like super chats because I can't be, if I have some sort of guest, it's not like I can be reading every fucking comment like I basically did today. This was more of like a trial run, kind of getting used to this. I'm kind of liking how this went. Thank you everyone who showed up. This was great. I thought this went pretty well. I do want to stress anyone who watches this who feel like this critique applied to them. I very much respect you. Yes, I actually have. If someone says, "Have you read Berserk?" I have this thing on top of. I have my laptop on a stack of books in true book nerd fashion, and Berserk is one of them. I'm on the 7th volume of the big the new ones are dropping, the leather bound ones. Dude, yeah, Berserk's awesome. Anyone, they have the movie out for anyone actually interested. It's fucking metal. Griffith did nothing wrong, if anyone understands the reference. With that, I'm out here, guys. I really appreciate you guys coming. I appreciate all the support and how you guys have helped me get here. It really means a lot. Berserk, greatest book of all time. I don't know if I jumped to that, but it's pretty fucking good. I also haven't finished it yet, so I don't know. Maybe I'll change my mind once it's over, but it's fucking based right now. All right, I'm out, guys. I really appreciate it.